Hi guys, I was watching this interview of John Jones with Kevin Iole, where Kevin Iole asked him the question like, "You're fighting Stipe Miocic now. If you beat Stipe Miocic, and then would you be fighting Tom Aspinall?" I mean, his answers were quite interesting. It seemed to me that he was just trying to duck Tom Aspinall. I couldn't stop myself from actually commenting on this video, so I thought I would actually react to like the whole situation, the whole interview actually, where Kevin Iole is asking him this question, and I'm not a hater of John Jones. Like I think John Jones might be the greatest fighter of all time, minus PED. Obviously, we're not gonna involve that. And the light heavyweight, that's not even an argument because I think John Jones has probably got the most insane resume of all time. Like nobody has it. He's probably got like 8 to 9 UFC champions on his resume. So John Jones is one of the greatest fighters of all time. John Jones, I just don't think he's the pound for pound number one, and I think he should be fighting Tom Aspinall because I think it should be according to the rankings. Tom Aspinall is the interim champion. John Jones should be fighting him. So I am just gonna react to his comments, just assess his response and see if he's actually interested in fighting Tom Aspinall, and if there's any truth to his claim where he's like he doesn't have to. So we'll just go through the comments. Okay, so now it's Kevin Iole. He's gonna be asking him this question. We're just gonna react to it.
Aspinall's the guy that people want to see you fight, right? So here's the question. You're fighting Stipe Miocic, and I know you're focused on that fight. If you defeat him, as you're a 6-1 favorite to win the fight, if you defeat him, will you defend your belt against Aspinall, who has the inner...
Okay, so Kevin Iole is basically asking him, you're defending your belt against Stipe Miocic, and if you beat him, would you be defending your belt against Tom Aspinall, who is the interim champion? That's a very valid question, actually, because normally what happens is that interim champion should fight with the undisputed champion to get the undisputed belt. They should fight with the actual champion. That should be the case because they're interim for a reason because they've beaten everybody else. And he's saying your favorite. First of all, the odds are crazy. Like he's 6-1 favorite against a champ. When does it actually happen? You wouldn't see that in like the recent history. Being 6-1 favorite against the champion, the current champion. Sorry, you're the current champion, but you're 6-1 favorite against your opponent. That normally you wouldn't see that sort of trend. Like it means that there's people don't have much interest in the fight. It just shows you that people actually think you're just gonna dismantle the guy. So okay, listen to John Jones' response on this.
title?
More than likely not. More than likely not. I feel like Tom Aspinall is I don't want to say nobody, but he just hasn't proven anything. He hasn't done anything.
Okay, first of all, he's completely kind of like dismissing the idea. He's like, more than likely not. Tom Aspinall, I don't want to say nobody, but he hasn't proven anything. He hasn't done anything. I don't know where he's getting this from. Tom Aspinall is an interim champion right now. Tom Aspinall not only won the interim championship, he also defended the interim title. So if you look at like, I mean, he's kind of like, it just seems like he's calling him a nobody, like Tom Aspinall. So I'm just gonna quickly just pull up the resume of Tom Aspinall because I think, although it's not the same as John Jones, because John Jones just he fought for a long time as well. But for the time period that Tom Aspinall is fighting, and I'm also gonna show you like the basically how quickly Tom Aspinall is actually finishing the fights. Tom Aspinall, UFC record. Okay, so just going to use UFC record basically. All right, I hope you guys can see the screen. Okay, so Tom Aspinall last fight was against Curtis Blades. Now, you know, Curtis Blades is kind of like an established fighter. Curtis Blades is a good name, by the way, and on paper it was a hard fight because Curtis Blades got a very strong wrestling background. Okay, Tom Aspinall beat Curtis Blades within a minute, all right? And then Tom Aspinall, then he was fighting Sergio Pavlovich. All right, Sergio Pavlovich is such, Pavlovich was knocking everybody out before the fight. 1 minute, 9 seconds. And then Marcin Tybura. Tybura was doing right during the time. It was 1 minute 13, but maybe I wouldn't call Tybura as like a high level fighter. But Sergio Pavlovich, Curtis Blades, that's pretty good. Okay, the next one. Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blades, unfortunate loss. You know how he broke his leg. So that was bad. Tom Aspinall versus Alexander Volkov. Alexander Volkov is one of the best strikers. He might be the best striker in the heavyweight division. You look at the size of the guy. He's probably like 6'7", 6'8". Pretty tall. He uses kicks amazingly. 3 minutes, 45 seconds. Again, First round finish, straight on bar. That was amazing. Tom Aspinall versus Sergey Spivak. That fight, with a TKO, KO with an elbow, 2 minutes 30 seconds. So first round again. Tom Aspinall versus Andrei Arlovsky. You're not gonna call Andrei Arlovsky a legend? So look how much like Tom Aspinall's resume is pretty insane as well. Like it's kind of crazy, and he beat him in the second round. So that's the only fight that went to the second round. And if you look at the next two fights, okay, maybe not like high level fighters, but Alan Border, Jake Collier, maybe not high level fighters, but Tom Aspinall actually finished them in the first round. So all of the fights that Tom Aspinall had, he finished them in the first round, except only one fight that was against Andrei Arlovsky, and you know Arlovsky is like a former champion. Was he out of his prime? Yes, he was. But Tom Aspinall still like rear naked choke him in the second round. So you look at the time that he's spending to actually beat those guys, and you look at the guys that he's beating. Those guys are actually at the top of the list. Sergey Pavlovich, Curtis Blades, Alexander Volkov. So yeah, I mean you gotta put respect to Tom Aspinall's name, and completely disregarding him, I don't think that was the best idea. But yeah, let's do the results.
And I understand that. I mean, he won his belt against Sergey. Sergey just got slaughtered by someone else. So it's just like I'm not here to
You can't take the credit away from a guy like this. Okay, he won his belt against him, but he just got slaughtered by somebody else. No, bro. Like people can lose one time, and then after that, because their momentum breaks, they kind of go in like a downshift. That happens to many people. Like Tony Ferguson. What Tony Ferguson was destroying, going through the whole division when he was in prime, and he had one bad performance against Justin Gaethje. That Justin Gaethje actually took his career away, and then Tony Ferguson has been downhill since then. How many fights has he lost? The guy has lost probably like 7 to 8 fights in a row now. We can say the same thing about Alexander Volkanovski. Okay, he was fighting Islam Makhachev, moved to like a high division, didn't have enough time to train, only had 3 weeks to train, took the fight. Before that, he was beating everyone in the featherweight division. Okay, lost to Islam Makhachev, close fight, the first one. Second one, he got knocked out. Okay, bad one. Then he went to the featherweight division and he lost to Ilya Topuria, got knocked out. So it's happened to him as well. Like you can't just be like, okay, Sergey Pavlovich, he lost to Tom Aspinall, and then you saw like he got destroyed by some other guy. Bro, it can happen. Honestly, knockout changes you. So just because he's lost this fight doesn't mean that he wasn't as good as he was like supposed to be or he was painted to be. Sergey Pavlovich was a knockout artist. He was knocking people out. So don't discredit the competition of Tom Aspinall.
gamble someone else making a name off of me. I'm here to compete against the guys where when we look back, 10 years from now, it'd be like John Jones fought this guy and that guy and this legend and this champion and this champion. If there were to be a fight of a guy that's still in our
Okay, that is so selfish. Gamble, somebody else making a name out of me. Like you're just thinking about yourself. Like he's saying, okay, when I want to look back in the past, I want people to say that, okay, he fought this guy and that guy and that guy. But Tom Aspinall is a nobody to him. Bro, you're thinking so selfishly right now. UFC shouldn't be about like one person. UFC is like a proper organization. There should be like some sort of like proper rules and regulations. Okay, the champion, he has to fight the interim champion. First of all, I don't even believe like he should be Stipe Miocic should be getting a shot. The guy has been out for like 4 years. That was his last fight. The last fight that he won was 5 years ago. So I don't know the basis of why he's getting a title shot. Okay, Stipe was a champion before, but he got destroyed by Francis Ngannou, got knocked out, and hasn't had a fight for like 4 years. So I don't agree with this. And second of all, John Jones is kind of like making it about himself. It's like, oh, UFC should be carrying, like, I should be the one calling the shots. Okay, this guy, he hasn't won that many matches. He hasn't been fighting for that long. So I don't think I should be fighting him because people are not going to say, okay, this guy's got an insane resume and I beat him and that's my legacy. So, yeah, he's being selfish. He's like, okay, they should just be caring about my legacy that I. So again, you can see how it's trying to duck Tom Aspinall. Like this is ducking one to. You can see like it's 100% ducking Tom Aspinall.
UFC roster that would be not only financially worth it, but legacy worth it, it would be Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira and I, we
Okay.
both 30
Light heavyweight champ.
Yeah, we're both 30.
Okay, now, you don't want to fight Tom Aspinall, but you want to fight Alex Pereira? Bro, weren't you gonna retire after the fight? I mean, it's pretty obvious why you want to fight Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira is a big. Alex Pereira's got an insane resume. Alex Pereira might be one of the best combat sport athletes of all time. and he's a smaller guy than you. He's a smaller guy than you. He's a light heavyweight champion, and he's a. I rate Alex Pereira very high. I think he might be one of the best. He is the best striker in the UFC. But at the same time, Alex Pereira doesn't have wrestling or jiu-jitsu. He lacks that in his skills, and John Jones knows that is a pathway to victory, especially when you have like pounds on the other guy, when you have much heavier than the other guy. So yeah, I mean, he sees a pathway to victory, and he knows Alex Pereira is known as one of the best combat sport athletes because he's got like a great kickboxing background as well. So to him, it probably seems like an easier fight, and he's like, okay, I'll take this. How are you even allowed to do this? To be honest, if UFC actually makes Alex Pereira versus John Jones and Tom Aspinall just sitting defending his interim title maybe one more time against somebody else, how do you even justify that? Like if John Jones said, okay, I'm after the stupid fight, I am gonna retire, and then you make the fight of me versus Alex Pereira, that would make a little bit of like that would make a little bit of sense to me. Even though I would still be saying that he's ducking Tom Aspinall, but that would make a little bit of sense. Okay, at least you vacated the title. But now you're gonna fight with the title against Alex Pereira. That is crazy.
7 years old. Right now, I weigh about 235. I'm an incredibly light heavyweight. I think Pereira walks around at 240. Um, and I think that fight would go much farther on my legacy than a young man who's cool today and maybe.
Okay, again, and now he's trying to sell the fight. Like that's yeah, like a smart move from John Jones. He's saying, "Oh, I am 37 years old. Alex Pereira is 37 years old. I'm 235 pounds. He's 240 pounds." Just basically trying to make it competitive. It's like, "Oh, we're the same age. We're the same weight as well. He's probably got like 5 pounds on me." That is not true, John Jones. That is not true. Alex Pereira, he's walking at that weight, but when he's actually gonna fight, he makes 205. Is Alex a big guy? Yes, but you can see the difference in the weight. You had how many years? John Jones had 4 years to actually get adjusted to that weight. What was the last time? When was the last time he actually fought in the light heavyweight? That was like a long time ago, probably like 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago, maybe five. I don't know. He fought in the light heavyweight a long time ago when he fought Reyes for the last time. So after that, everybody knew he was gonna make the move to the heavyweight, and he had time to get adjusted to that weight. So he had to lift weights, was doing like heavy lifting and stuff. Alex Pereira, even though he's walking at 235, but that's not his actual fighting weight. He needs time. He's gonna need like at least like a year or two to actually get adjusted to that weight. Do I think Alex Pereira can do good? I think Alex Pereira can do very well against any striker in the heavyweight. He can probably knock any striker in the heavyweight. He can move around well, but I think the problem is going to be when you have like a wrestler who's probably stronger and bigger than you. They're going to be able to take you down. It's going to be very hard for you to control, considering that you don't have like high level skills. I'm sure he's improved his grappling, but he's not like a his background is not wrestling or jiu-jitsu, so it's hard. It takes time. So again, I mean, from Jones' point of view, he's trying to sell the fight.
Be gun tomorrow. I remember a time when the whole world thought Johnny Walker was going to be the guy to beat me. And no disrespect for Johnny Walker, but I mean, we all have seen the way his career's played out. I've just been here too long to get all excited about someone who's hot today. I'm here for legacy. I've been gambling for way too long to just take random fights.
Well, I'm part.
Oh my God, he's comparing Johnny Walker. He's comparing Tom Aspinall to Johnny Walker. That's not a right comparison. Okay, was Johnny Walker knocking people out? Were people actually thinking at that time that Johnny Walker would be the guy to take John Jones down? Yes, everybody thought that. But if you look at Johnny Walker's resume, it's not even close to what Tom Aspinall's resume is. Johnny Walker never became the interim champion. He never beat like the top guys in the top five of the division. When he was fighting good guys, he got exposed, and then he started getting knocked out. And also, we have on record that Johnny Walker before UFC, he had like a few knockouts where he got knocked out by the guys. Tom Aspinall doesn't have that. Tom Aspinall is a much better fighter. Johnny Walker wasn't even a complete fighter. Johnny Walker didn't have grappling. Johnny Walker was basically just a striker with with not like a good striking defense. He was an offensive striker. He was very flashy. Tom Aspinall has shown us things that Johnny Walker didn't. Tom Aspinall is finishing all of his fights in the first round. Tom Aspinall is an amazing striker. He's got knockout power. Tom Aspinall had submissions in UFC, so we know he's got grappling as well. We know he's got a black belt. And Tom Aspinall has beaten guys in the top five. And Tom Aspinall is an interim champion. And Tom Aspinall defended an interim belt. So the comparison I've shown you the resume of Tom Aspinall as well is not comparable. and he's like, okay, I'm not just gonna fight anybody. No, bro, Tom Aspinall is not just anybody.
For the whole world, and I did not think Johnny Walker was going to beat you, but we'll go there. I know we're running short of time, so I want to get two more questions into you, John.
Okay, that's it. That's it. We watched the part of the interview where he's discussing the fight with Tom Aspinall. We know, guys, we have established the fact John Jones is trying to duck Tom Aspinall. He doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. It's for his legacy. I don't blame the man, but bro, just retire. If you don't want to fight Tom Aspinall, just retire. That's it. UFC's got to take action against it. You're fighting a guy who came back after 4 years, who had his last fight 4 years ago. You're fighting a guy who's 42 years old. Not because you want to give him a shot. Everybody knows that you're gonna beat him. The odds are 6-1. If Stipe beats you, that would be a surprise. Awesome. To be honest, part of me would be rooting for Stipe. Although I know John Jones is a great fighter, but just to see the Dana's and John Jones' face getting pissed, I would love to see actually Stipe beating John Jones just for that fact. And then, but yeah, I want to see the fight between Tom Aspinall and John Jones. Give the fans what they want actually. I do think even if the fight, I do think Jones would have a chance. I think Tom Aspinall beats John Jones because I think he's just younger, he's more hungry, and he's a very complete fighter. And the way that they're going to be fighting at like heavyweight, Tom Aspinall is a proper heavyweight. It's not going to be easy for Jones to take him down. Tom Aspinall is very fast on the feet. You've seen he's got knockout power. John Jones doesn't have knockout power, so I think he can touch him, knock him out. I don't think Jones is going to be able to take him down. Even if Jones does, I don't think he's going to be able to control him. I think Tom can attack the submissions well because he's a high-level black belt in jiu-jitsu. So I think if that fight happens, I think Tom Aspinall knocks John Jones out. I think he sparks him. And everybody knows John Jones does not want to risk it, but I think fans would pay to watch that fight. Alright guys, you can have your assessments yourself, but I think that's what I think. I think John Jones is just ducking Tom Aspinall.